Most people who pick engineer instantly become a construction hazard for their team. So stop pretending like you know what you're doing. If you really want to get better at engineer, then it's time to listen up, because what you're about to learn will change your gameplay forever. First, we need to go back to the beginning. The only real thing you need to know about the weapons, and this is the only time I'm going to mention weapons with engineer, is that Russia has 5 rounds of ammo, France has 9 rounds of ammo, Italy and Germany both have 8 rounds of ammo, and then Britain, Bulgaria, and Austria-Hungary all have 7 rounds of ammo. That's all I have to say about the weapons, because that's literally all you need to know about the weapons. They're not that special. I guess the only significant thing is that every single one of these countries, except for Russia, is an automatic fire pistol, versus Russia's pistol fires 1 bullet at a time. Okay, now with that out of the way, it's time to get to the real good stuff. Now, every situation is different, but what you can do, have different items prepared for those different situations. For example, if your team is pushing or defending and you need to get onto a roof to be able to defend, the first thing you're going to want to do is place a ladder somewhere in the area so that your team can get on the roof. Now, there is a proper way and an improper way to place a ladder. The improper way looks like this. As you can see here, the ladder is partially inside the walls. That's not what you want. You want to make sure it's actually placed on the wall and not in the wall. And if you didn't already know this, you can use the hammer as a weapon. However, I would recommend you only use the hammer when you're in very close situations, because hammer is not like your spade where you can just swing it as much as you please in hopes of hitting your enemy. And now a very small detail that I notice a lot of engineers don't do is what I like to call cycling your items to have the item you need at the ready. Because what I don't want to do is when I get here, I'm not prepared and then I'm busy cycling through my items rather than getting straight to building. But if you have the item prepped and ready to go so that I just can go ahead and start constructing it right away. Now when it comes to constructing your item, you need to be moving around. It really just needs to be the simplest of movements, and what I always do is I usually crouch and I'm moving back and forth like this, or in a circular motion. As you see right here, I'm still able to construct my HMG, but I'm also moving so that I'm not just a sitting duck. And that little detail is the difference between being instantly shot or setting up your defenses as quickly as possible. Now, let's talk proper roof constructions, and all of these constructions can be used for either defense or for offense. Now, if you cycle through with me all the way to the corrugated roof, I personally use corrugated roof for 2 things. A, I use it for roof extensions, or B, blocking enemy tunnels. Those roof extensions look a little bit like this. You see how they're kind of placed at the edge of the roof? It's useful because you have extra surface area to walk and run on if you need to get a better angle on the enemy. See how that extends my field of vision? That's a pretty good thing to have both on offense and defense. Now, for blocking off enemy tunnels, let's pretend this hole right here is the opening to an enemy tunnel. Easiest thing to do is placing a corrugated roof over the opening like this. Boom. It's not intended to stop them, and it's just meant to slow them down. Next up, let me talk about the HMGs. As far as I know, they're basically all the same in my eyes. They all do the same amount of damage. They all have the same fire rate. Another thing, having sandbags on your flanks is very important. 99% of the time, you're going to be placing tall sandbags on your flanks, because those always provide me the most amount of protection. Another thing you want to do, especially if you're on a roof, is placing barbed wire just a little bit in front of you. See how this is perfectly placed on the edge of the roof? If an enemy is trying to push up on the opposite side of the roof, trying to shoot me off the roof, they have this barbed wire in the way, which will slow them down and therefore give me an extra fighting chance. Now, if you're going to remember anything I've said throughout this entire video, it has to be this. Building a highway with duckboard into your point. And this is very, very important on defense. This is literally the method that allows you to get into your point faster and safer. Let's take a look at this right here. It stays above ground, but you're low enough where you don't risk people headshotting you, and if there's a bunch of bullets flying past you, they're going above your head, but you're still able to advance forward at a much safer rate. Also, the duckboard will help you get into the point significantly faster. Duckboard paired with making a highway into your point really helps you get back in at a much faster and safer rate. Some of the biggest takeaways from this lesson that I want you to remember: 1. Learning to cycle your items. 2. You want to use those items to your advantage, whether it's using corrugated roofs to extend a roof or a ledge, using sandbags to protect your flanks, use barbed wire to slow down the enemy, move from side to side. It doesn't have to be crazy movement, just has to be small enough movements where you're still able to construct your item. And last but not least is digging highways, because it provides a direct path into the point and makes it a lot faster, safer, and efficient getting back into the point, especially on defense. But that's all the information I have on Engineer. I hope you learned a thing or two from this. That's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.